Isn't that a beauty? Stay super tender. Hello and welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. I've got my new glasses on today. I'm not quite sure what I think of them. Let me know what you think in the comments. And it's absolutely okay to be honest with me. I can take it. So our garden tours keep getting a little bit later and later during the week. For the longest time I posted on Mondays. Today is Friday, but I'm trying not to miss a week. We are right smack dab in the middle of our fall kidding season. I may have a goat trying to give birth today. I'm not quite sure yet. So I want to get this garden tour shot before I get busy all over again. Things in the tunnel are looking quite impressive. Look at this loofah. Oh my goodness, it's a monster. The first ones that we noticed growing are over here, and I have not noticed them drying out at all, so there they sit. These are the first two birdhouse gourds that I noticed were developing way earlier in the season. Their stems are brown, so they are cut off from the nutrition of the vine. But it seems like leaving them up on the trellis, if possible, is probably the best bet, because the ones that I picked and put down here to cure, they're not doing as well. Exhibit A, this one looks like it literally got hollowed out by a rodent or something. Look at all the seeds over here. Aren't these seeds bizarre looking? They kind of look like stingray eggs to me. You Floridians know what I'm talking about, right? Let's see, same thing is kind of happening with this one. It's like it's rotting at the top and then critters are taking advantage of it. I'm not really sure. So we'll just have to see, but we've at least got these guys as backup. These look really good. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I've been sick, and so I really haven't stepped foot out in the garden for a good handful of days. And especially when it rains like it has, a lot can change in a short amount of time. And there's a lot of changes, so I'm glad we're out here. Look at how big these lettuces got. Holy moly, I need to harvest these. Oh, do you see this? That's caterpillar poop. See if we can find the little bugger. You can see we had some damage in our pak choi back here. A lot of the outer leaves are quite holey, while some of the inner leaves are actually doing really well. I noticed right after our garden tour last week that the cabbage loopers really started to mow those down. And so I took my liquid BT and I sprayed it all over, and it did really well. It kills the wormies really, really fast. And if you can get on top of it before they like destroy the centered growth point of the plant, usually you can save it, see? It's good growth in the middle. We are going to be getting more rain today, so I'm not going to be treating these, but after the rain, because I am seeing some fresh poop over on those lettuces, I'll probably treat those with the same BT. I feel like the liquid form, if you're going to be buying liquid or powder form of BT, the liquid form really is the most economical because a little bit goes a really long way. This zinnia is so impressive. This is one plant right here. Isn't that stunning? My scattered lettuce bed is looking really well. Some of these lettuces are trying to form a head because I haven't actually harvested from them yet. Definitely looks like salad is on the menu this week, which really excites me. It's one of my favorite things to grow and eat. So it looks like some of the radishes might actually be trying to go to flower, which doesn't exactly surprise me. Here we go. I was trying to wait to pick these, and I still probably will wait to pick most of these because it's been so hot here that I don't want these radishes to be super spicy, and that can happen in the heat. I think the low this Sunday is 40, which is kind of crazy, but that'll sweeten these guys right up. Shaika.
Radishes! Radishes!
Okay, listen. Wash them off real good and don't wash them in the rainwater. Okay, wash them in the sink.
I caught a chicken. And I can have some. This thing is very warm.
You can
I'm not
have
good with
3
names.
each, okay?
I'm not good with names, so I can't remember names.
Good chicken. We really like to eat radishes fresh and raw, but if you have an issue with kind of the peppery flavor that radishes can have, that just melts away when you roast them. They're a lot like a potato when you roast them, just a little bit less starchy. But radishes are so quick and easy to grow. If you don't like them, but you also haven't tried them roasted, give them a shot because it's fast food. Got my boots on today, so we're gonna go in here. Oh look, there's loofah down there. That's funny. I think I'm just gonna stop myself with the cucamelons because I could be out here all day picking them, but this will be a good amount to ferment. Fermented cucamelons are so good. Let's check and see what we've got as far as peppers. This is getting a little bit overgrown as well. These plants are getting heavy with their fruit. Look at that nice big pepper. Yeah, you see this one starting to turn yellow. That's what I thought. I'm pretty sure that this plant is my yellow monstrose or monster yellow pepper. That one's kind of bad. I'll just pull that off. But I'd like to leave these on to get to their mature color. Now that 40-degree temp that we have coming up, that is dangerously close to frost worthy. Oh, that scared me. Oh no, I thought that was a bug. You can get a frost above 32 degrees as long as the air is still. I've seen it frost here when it's like 37. So being only 3 degrees away from that is kind of nerve-wracking when I've got stuff like this out here. So I'm gonna have to watch the temperatures closely because if I see a 39, very likely I'm gonna come out here and harvest. And I may even cover these because it looks like it's only that one night that's going to be a little bit close to a frost, and then we're good for quite a while. We may not even get our first frost on time, which kind of surprises me. But again, it could come early if it comes this weekend. So we hope it doesn't because there's still a lot of peppers on here. It's kind of hard to see them all because they're green, but see them all? A lot of these habanadas are a ripe color though. There's a ton of them over here. We'll grab those. Look at this big pepper. Isn't that a beauty? I think this is one of those yellow ones too. So we'll come back for that on a later date. As I mentioned, it's been quite a few days since I've really stepped foot into any garden spaces. That includes the greenhouse here, and my Kalima beans have been doing really well. They grow really fast, and so some of these are going to be quite big. See that? Those are big. Well, it sounds like we got in here in good timing because the sky has opened up. But this is one of the best places to be in the rain. Clearly we're protected in here. But I wanted to mention, with these Kalima beans, someone had asked me how many plants I have to get this kind of a yield. I have 12 Kalima bush bean plants, and they've been producing very well. This is my first year growing these, and it was also my first year growing the Contender bush bean earlier in the year. Those were also a favorite. I'd say between the two, I like the Kalimas better. That's just personal preference based on like the style. These are thinner and longer. They're not necessarily more tender, but I like the look of these. And both the Contenders and the Kalimas, even when they get big, they stay super tender, and the little beans on the inside don't really get super huge for quite a while. Like, you can see it in there. Totally edible. I've actually canned one round of this type of bean, of the Kalimas, and they can up really well, and they look exactly like the canned beans that I grew up eating. So it looks like I'll be canning again this weekend. So over here in our Vigo raised bed, you can see that we've had a lot of soil settling. This is completely normal, especially when you pack things like hay and logs underneath. As those things break down and settle, they really can compact quite well, but things are going to grow in here just fine, and we'll be able to amend over top this when these things come out. So right in front of you here, we have some rutabagas. They are pretty big. I actually should really pull some weeds here and mulch around this area. And then back here, we had quite a successful germination of our carrots, both with the cornstarch slurry method and just sprinkling them in the soil like I do normally. Now, I do still have a lot of thinning out to do. I think I put too many seeds inside my cornstarch slurry. I got a little bit excited. I don't want to have them closer than about an inch or an inch and a half apart, ideally, so that our carrots can get to their full size. They can reach their full potential. If we didn't pluck them out or thin them out, they'd still grow, but they would definitely be smaller carrots. So all I'm gonna do is look at them and see how far apart they are and make sure that I'm thinning them out appropriately. There we go. That looks a lot better. Now these seedlings will have a lot more room to grow. And it would do this bed well if I mulched it. The reason I haven't yet is because these seedlings have been too little and I haven't been wanting to smother them. But they're getting there. They're getting to the point where I can finally put a couple inches of mulch next to them, and that will definitely help the weed situation. It'll help with moisture retention in the bed, and those are both good things all around. I haven't really done much in the way of clean out and amending the greenhouse in the last couple of weeks, partially because I haven't felt super well, but also I am a little bit nervous about getting my seedlings in the ground a little bit too early. Here they are. They're doing well. They're still quite small though. These peas are good though. I really should get those in the ground soon. But these smaller brassica seedlings, they're not going to hold up super well if they happen to come across a roly-poly or a rodent that decides that it wants to eat these tender seedlings for lunch. And so I think I'm going to take these out in these trays as long as I can so that their stems can get as strong as they can, so they can mount a pretty good defense against something like that. Because last year, that's what happened to our whole fall and winter garden here in the greenhouse. Slowly but surely, it got mowed down, I think, by roly-polies. But I also know that we did have some rodents here in the greenhouse as well. There was one row back here of broccoli that was untouched, and I'm guessing because those seedlings were a little bit bigger before I transplanted them, that's why they did so well. So I'm gonna hold these guys off a little while. As you can see, some of the okra in the greenhouse has succumbed to a heavy top. I've actually never seen okra do this before, but I've also never grown it in a greenhouse setting. In here, there's a lot less wind pressure, and so the stems don't get a lot of strength to them because they're not really encountering anything that's giving them that signal that they have a need to create a strong stem. So ultimately, when these pods grew big and got heavy, the plants fell over. But that's okay. I'm done harvesting okra for the year. Well, it's about time for me to rest my voice again and go check on some goats. I imagine by the time that this video posts, more baby goats would have been born. I'm actually still surprised at how much we're still able to get out of the garden, considering I haven't basically done anything with it in quite some time. But that's the thing about gardens, they just want to grow.